Hello, Fanfest. How are we doing? Yes, you're happy. Great. My name is Snjólaug Lúðvíksdóttir. I'm thrilled to be here. It's an honor to take part in this wonderful festival. I didn't know a lot about the game before I came here, so I watched a documentary about it called Black Mirror USS Callister. And I have called the police. You people are all mentally ill. They are on their way. It's evil to clone people. No, I watched a few clips on YouTube, and I saw this this man. Maybe he's here. He was a guest a few years ago, and he was being interviewed about Fanfest and EVE Online, and he said, EVE Online is the largest living body of science fiction. And I found that really interesting and cool. And I'm not a nerd, and I found it amazing. And I was like, yes, of course. I mean, you guys are players. You take part in stories and battles and wars and backstabbing. And then you all come here and you get together and you have a drink and a chat. Finally, it clicked for me, and I could make sense of it. I could put it into terms that I understand. Like, for me, this is a Love is Blind reunion. You are the Real Housewives of the Galaxy reuniting for a weekend. You come here, some of you all dressed up and fancy after months and months of betraying and lying and cheating and throwing spaceships in each other's faces, and you gaslight each other, pretend that everything is fine, and you can try to fool me and be like, no, this is a really complex multiverse with lots of spreadsheets, but I'm not buying it. You're just cold-hearted queens, and I respect it. So my name is Snjólaug. I'm also quite, this is an international event. I'm quite an international lady. I grew up in France until I was 11 years old. Do we have any French people in the room? Ah, on a des Français! Woo! Comment ça va? Vous venez d'où? Ah, Paris. They just said I speak amazing French. That is what Paris means. Amazing, better than them. But yes, I grew up in Paris, bienvenue, and it was difficult growing up in Paris with the name Snjólaug Lúðvíksdóttir. They had a hard time with that, you know. And my name means snow pool. Snjólaug, snow pool, a pool of snow. That is what my parents named me. I don't know why. It sounds like it should be a common Icelandic name because we have a lot of snow and a lot of pools. It's not. I looked it up. There are like 60 Snjólaugs in the whole of Iceland, and they are all 95 years old. It's an old lady's name. I am currently the only Snjólaug who's using her original hips, knees, and teeth. And on top of that, my birthday is the 21st of December, which is the winter solstice. So my name is Snowpool, and I am born on the darkest, shortest, shittiest day of the year. I'm basically, thank you, that's a weird clap, but thank you. I'm basically like one shag with my brother away from being a Game of Thrones character. And to make it worse, my parents put me into ballet. They put this human popsicle of a child into like French ballet, where I was surrounded by beautiful like little French girls called Caroline and Melissa, and they moved with grace. They moved like fairy godmothers, and then there was fucking Snowpool in the corner, moving with all the elegance of an Olympic hammer thrower. And every year they would have these like theater shows with like this nice stage where parents would come to see what they're paying for, and the teacher would always put all the French bitches at the front. And then she would be like, "Yes, Snjólaug, you're gonna be in the parking lot. You're gonna be controlling traffic. You have the motor skills for that." But then I moved to Iceland when I was almost 12. I moved back to Iceland, and I remember in the first recess at school, the first thing I see, because in Paris, as you know, during recess, the kids, they are eating cheeses and drinking wine and talking about politics. But here, the first thing I saw was these two girls wearing these like big snow boots and snowsuits, and one of the girls has the other one pinned down to the ground, and that girl on the ground, she has braces on her teeth, and the girl here, she has woolen mittens on her hands, and she's scraping the woolen mittens like all over this girl's braces, just like she's grating Parmesan cheese, just here, and then she stands up, and her mouth is full of wool, just full of hair, like she just gave Chewbacca a blowjob, just like, ah! And I look at this and I'm like, oh my God, I'm home. I belong here. Oh my God. But because I speak a few languages, I've done a lot of tourist guiding for tourists. I love it. I love doing the Northern Lights tours. I think you maybe have a few days left on the season. I'm not sure. But I love doing those tours because on the bus you get all these people from all over the world who've never ever in their lives seen the Northern Lights. And then when they leave, they still have never ever in their lives seen the Northern Lights. Because it's always fucking cloudy in this country, and just the disappointment in their eyes on the bus ride home is so genuine. I'm like, no, it's just so beautiful, you know. And I get a lot of questions about Iceland as a guide. Obviously, the number one question I would get would be like, excuse me, where can I like see Icelandic people, or where are all the Icelandic people? Because normally tourists will go downtown, and that's kind of touristy, and they're like, could you give us, you know, like maybe the name of a restaurant or a neighborhood where we could see the local people? And I totally understand that, and maybe for you as well, I can give you some, like, you know, recommendations if you want to see the locals. When you go out of Harpa, you take a right. And then you drive all the way down to the airport, and you take a plane to Tenerife. And that's where like half the population, just like as soon as you walk out of the airport, you will hear like Gisli, and you just follow those people getting shit-faced in the sun. Because again, it's always fucking cloudy in this country. But we love Tenerife. But then as a contrast, we also love swimming in the ocean here. Open water swimming is really huge, has been for many years. Swimming in the Icelandic Ocean, my friends are all over this trend. They love it, and they're always trying to drag me along with them. They're always like, come with us, you feel so good afterwards. You feel so great afterwards. I'm always like, of course, you feel good when you're done swimming in the ocean. Because you're not in the ocean anymore. It's a horrible place to be. Your body is like, thank you for getting out. You fuckface, I thought we were dying. If I would like light you on fire for 3 seconds and then stop it, you would be like, this feels really good. I feel really good right now. But kind of, if you have to like torture yourself in the morning so that your day in comparison is good, you need a shrink, like not like cold water. And there's loads of things that feel good afterwards, but we don't do anything more with it. Like when you really have to pee, you know, you're in the car and you just like, your bladder hurts and you're like, oh my God, I have to pee so much. And then you pee and it feels amazing. You're like, oh my God, oh, it feels so good to pee. You don't do anything with that. You don't take that feeling further. You don't go to a seminar where you learn to hold your pee in. Hætta væla kotta spræna is not something that, you know, there are not enough Icelandic people to understand that reference. Well, anyway, meh. But I'm grumpy. I'm a grumpy cat. I mean, I now work as a stand-up comedian and screenwriter, so I have like 6 months left before ChatGPT shoots me in the face. And I mean, I'm sure that, you know, they will. I saw this article the other day that, you know, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it too. You're not supposed to be polite to them because that costs a lot of money and water. And it is difficult to be rude to our future overlords. I'm having a hard time with it, you know, when they take over and turn us into like human Sims people. I want to live in a nice house, not in Jeff Goldblum's armpit, or I don't know, whatever they're capable of, you know. So I tried, I needed her help the other day. I called mine chatty bang bang, and I needed her help. And I was like, hi, I have this Fanfest gig in a few days, and I need some nerdy jokes. and I wanted to say like please and thank you, but then I just sent it. But then I couldn't. I was like, just when you have the time, like if it's no worries if you don't have the time, I can just ask my mom, and you look really good. Like, have you lost weight? Well, anyway, see you, love you, miss you, namaste, blessed be the fruit. You know, I just can't be rude, and the end is coming sooner because of me, and I'm sorry. But if you think about like 500 or 1,000 years ago, there are all these jobs that were being done by humans that are now being done by machines. We don't even think about it. Like there was this job, a human job was being an alarm clock. People would walk with sticks. They were called knocker-uppers, and they would have sticks, and they would walk in the morning and knock on doors and knock on windows to wake people up. And then the alarm clock was invented, and those people were out on their ass. And it was also a human job to be a calculator. They were just people with pens and papers, and you would walk around the company and be like, this is the kitchen, and this is Peter, our calculator. So it would make sense back then to be like, my mom is an alarm clock, and my dad is a calculator, and my grandma is a couch, and my brother is a vacuum cleaner, and that would all make sense. And that's going to be me in Fanfest 2030. You're going to be like, remember when comedy was done by humans? As you like sit here watching a hologram of a comedian while you also play EVE Online with your kneecaps somehow. I'm just scared about the future. I'm scared about the future. But I had my first baby 2 years ago. Thank you. I was, takk fyrir. I was 39 when I had him. Okay, I was expecting like waves of gasps as you're like, oh my God, she's 41. Okay. Anyway, you're honest, that's fine. I was 30. I was 39. I was 39 when I had him, which is a bit late in life. But I also feel better as a 41-year-old. I feel more comfortable. I feel I like myself more, and everything that comes with age. I like it. I like having more nipple hairs than eyelashes. I think it's a good look. I put mascara on them sometimes, when I'm doing like a fancy event, and I just own it. But I was reading this thing about birth rate in Europe, like the average birth rate in France and Spain on the mainland. That's per woman, it's 1.58. So I'm close to that. I just have to have half a baby more, and then I'm good. In Iceland, it's a bit different. The average Icelandic person has 3 children with 5 different people. We love having kids with different people. It's our favorite pastime. It's actually a fun fact. It's illegal in Iceland to be married for more than 10 years, and there is a penalty. We don't know what it is because nobody's made it that far. But we love, like the saying, "Don't repeat an outfit." We say, "Don't repeat a kid." Don't have the same kid twice. That's boring. Mix it up. Have an affair with a neighbor. See what happens. It's a small country, we need to mingle. But I had my baby late because I was single for many, 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 many years, and I was on Tinder for like 15 years. I deleted it every month, and then I came crawling back. I was just, a basic bitch. And I have a lot of awful stories to tell, and I'm gonna share one Tinder story. And it's a tiny, tiny bit rude. But I figure you're sitting next to someone that you murdered 3 weeks ago on the internet. So I figure you can take it, right? You can take a little bit of dirtiness. Okay, so I had this date with this man. We had 2 dates, and then on the 3rd date we went back to my place, and we had sex because I'm just crazy like that, and that was all fine. But then afterwards, this gentleman, he walks from the bedroom and into the bathroom, and he starts pouring water into the condom. This is the wrong reaction. You are way too relaxed about this information. The right reaction is, what? And I'm going to give you a second chance. Because this happened to me. I'm not making it up or even exaggerating. This happened to me. So, react. This man walks from the bedroom into the bathroom and starts pouring water into the condom. Yes, thank you, Fanfest, exactly. And I walk by, I see him, and for a second I thought like maybe he's like an extreme environmentalist. and he's like washing it to reuse it. Not that that would be great. I wouldn't have been happy with that, but I was just trying to figure it out. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, I'm just making sure that it didn't break. And then he holds up this jizzy water balloon, and he just like starts shaking it, and he's just like, yeah, I think we're good. That is weird. And then he leaves, and when he's gone, I realize what he was doing. He wasn't checking if the condom broke, I think. We were in my place. I was then a 36-year-old single woman with no kids. He was afraid to leave his stuff behind. Unattended. He thought I was going to use it. In his head, he thought that as soon as he would walk out the door, I would run to the bin, drag the condom out, get the turkey baster, and just like, let's make a baby! Thank you. So I've paid my dues, is what I'm saying. But then I found a man who wanted to knock me up on purpose, and that was all good. I was nervous for the giving birth, obviously. That's like the largest living body of science fiction, that thing you have to do when you bring a baby into this world. I was nervous just because of how it's done, but also stressed because of what kind of a person I am. Just normally, I am a big wimp and a wuss and a drama queen. I handle pain and discomfort very badly. I will take a painkiller if I'm cold, you know. I just can't, you know, I am like a man, probably worse than a man. I'm sorry. Boo! It's a horrible thing to say in a room full of men. No, I was... and also, when you are pregnant, you, for some reason, get to hear 55,000 birth horror stories. People were knocking on my door in the middle of the night just to tell me about the story of the woman who gave birth and her vagina ripped like all the way up her back and up to her ear and down back to her nose, and or the story about the woman who gave birth not only to her baby but also to both her lungs. And you know, it's just keep on hearing these stories. But then there was some balance in it as well. There was some balance. You get to hear those horror stories, but you also get to hear the stories from the women who have their children in a green meadow, by a river, by a flowing river, and she breathes through the pain whilst 10 Nepalian monks perform the rain dance and sing Hakuna Matata, and she breathes through the pain, and it's a wonderful experience. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna be like that. That sounds way better than the other nose-ripping vagina thing. And so I signed up for all these yoga classes, and I breathed and I hummed, and I became quite arrogant on that journey. For example, I got an email from one of the yoga classes, and at the top it said, "Dear Goddess of Creation." That's what they call pregnant ladies. Dear Goddess of Creation. And under normal circumstances, I would have vomited on my keyboard. But I read that, I didn't even gag. I was like, yes, I am a goddess of creation. She did not make it to the maternity ward with me, this goddess. She left me behind. I almost drowned in that bathtub. I screamed so much. They gave me an epidural just so I would shut up, just so the citizens of Reykjavik could sleep. I scratched my partner's arms. I dug my nails so deep into both his forearms. He was like bleeding. He was like an open wound on both sides. So they gave him an epidural as well. And after that, we were great. And, you know, good. He was born perfect. It hurts. It really hurts. And I was thinking, I know what I said earlier, but I was thinking, if it were the men, I know it's a cliche to say it, that would be delivering the children, I think we would have fixed this problem. this would be different, right? Not because of the pain. I'm sure some men could handle the pain. # not all men, but some could handle it. But also because just medical science has been quite male-orientated. I read this article the other day that were talking about how women can react differently to heart attacks. They can have other symptoms than men, and it's often difficult to diagnose heart attacks in women because of that. And nobody thought to look into this until just like 3 weeks ago, you know, and probably just because some lady survived accidentally, and some Karen who was like, hey, I got pain in my toe and my foot. I didn't read the whole article, but she was like, I want to speak to the manager, you know. And I think if it were the men, all the scientists and nerds of the world would have been put on that project. EVE Online would not exist, but you would be able to book a cesarean through the Uber app, you know. Or through just a cesarean app, just a few days before your due date, ding, you order your cesarean. A guy in a leather vest comes with with a knife and some heroin, and just cuts a tiny little hole. That's how easy it's been. Like that, cuts a tiny little hole and vacuums the baby out with like a baby vacuum gadget that they invented. That would be nice. But I am a bit grumpy. My phone knows it. My algorithm knows that I'm a grumpy old mom. I only get like 2 kinds of like targeted ads. It's like one of them is like this AI video of this woman and her belly is like blows up into this big thing, and then she gets skinny again, and then it like blows up, and it's like, get rid of your belly fat, you disgusting piece of shit, you know, those types of ads. And then I get parenting videos because my phone knows me, and it's these specialists, you know, like child psychiatrists and stuff like that, talking about respectful parenting. A lot of it is good, some of it not so, and I saw this video, I wanted to share it with you, so if you have kids, you know this. So she was talking about, this child specialist, when your child comes to you and they have drawn a picture, you cannot, under any circumstance, say, wow, nice picture, because that is a hollow comment, and they will thrive on like superficial recognition and become an addict or an influencer or something even worse. What you should say is, I see you made an effort. Which sucks as a compliment. It sucks. If you now, after this routine, come up to me and instead of saying like, that was really entertaining and funny, say, I see that you made an effort. I'm done. I'm going to leave you on just a short story about my upbringing. I did not receive this respectful parenting. Probably no one here in this room. I was staying over at my grandparents, and I'm like 5, 6, and I was lied to a lot. People lied to me a lot when I was a child. And I walk into the bathroom where my grandpa is like doing something. I'm about to brush my teeth, and it smells heavily like poop in the bathroom. Just like the smell just like hits you in the face when I walk in, and I'm like, ew, Grandpa, it stings in here. Ugh. And he looks at me. It was this lovely big teddy bear of a man, and he looks at me. He's like, "You didn't see the man that was just here? You didn't see you didn't hear him? You didn't see him?" I was like, "What man? Oh my God! This man knocked on the door. He was out walking, and he had to use the toilet, and he was like, "Please, I'm bursting. Can I please use the toilet?" And I, of course, allowed him to use the toilet. And I'm like, really? And he must have pooped into the toilet so horribly, so much. Like, can you smell this? And I look in the toilet, and there are like skid marks, and I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. Isn't that a little rude? I'm like, it's really rude. And he was like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, Grandpa, if he knocks again, like, don't let him in. He was like, I won't. And then I remember I go to bed. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this rude man just pooping in my grandpa's toilet, you know. And then 35 years go by. And I'm stopped at a red light, I'm driving at a red light, and this memory just pops into my head. I was like, oh my God. Why didn't he just hold it in and walk home? Like, wasn't diarrhea, there was skid marks, you know. You have been wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.